Which one of the following taxonomical categories can categorize rest all of the other categories? So it is the class which can categorize all the other given three other categories, because first what comes is kingdom, then comes division, then comes class, then comes order, then comes family, then genus, and then species. So class includes genus, family as well as order. Next question. What is the prime source of taxonomical studies? Collection of actual specimens from organism of species is correct. Identification of actual specimen of organism species is also true. So both A and B. Two plants can be conclusively said to belong to the same species if they can reproduce freely with each other and form seeds is the correct option. Identify A, B, C and D in the given diagram. Now A, as we see, this is the example of bacteriophage. So A is the head, B is the collar region, C is the sheath, and D are the tail fibers. So the correct option here is A. Next, the association mycorrhiza is relationship of algae and fungi. No, it is the relationship of fungi and higher plants. So the correct option is B. Next question. Characters of both conifers and cycads are found in ginkgo. Ginkgo shows a resemblance between both of these. It has well developed nucellar beak and pollen chamber, hostorial nature of the pollen chamber tubes, and flagellated spermatozoids, large egg, massive gametophyte, and well developed endospermic embryo with two cotyledons. Its resemblance with coniferales are cone-like appearance, dwarf shoots, etc. So it is ginkgo which is showing the features of both conifers and cycads. Which region is responsible for the origin of rhizoids in Funaria? So in Funaria, the rhizoids arise from the basal region of the stem, which functions as roots. So the correct option is D. True segmentation is called as metamerism. So the true segmentation is called as metamerism. Next question. The secondary host of Taenia saginata is cow and buffalo. So the correct option is A. Which of the following groups includes only arthropods? Now if you look here, cockroach, scorpion, prawns, it has only arthropods. Next, arrange the following plants in ascending order based on the number of carpels they possess. So the first option is Ornitharia, Acacia menalo-oxylens, squill and lettuce. So we have to put them in the ascending order based upon the number of carpels it possesses. So the correct option here is Acacia first has single carpel, lettuce has two carpels, and a red squill family has three carpels. So the correct option here is B. Next question. Identify the type of inflorescence in the given diagram. Now in the given diagram here, A is racemose and B is cymose. So if you see, look at figure A, there is no flower at the tip of the shoot. It has indefinite growth and the flowers are borne laterally, not at the tip, they are borne laterally. In cymose, the shoot tip ends with the terminal flower. So it will have limited growth. So this is racemose and this is cymose. Unlimited growth, limited growth. So correct option is A. The difference in phloem of gymnosperms and angiosperm is because of the companion cells. Because they are found in angiosperms only, they are not found in the gymnosperms. Next, leaf it is a laterally generated flattened structure borne on the stem is true. It is a vegetative organ for photosynthesis. This statement is also true. Originates from shoot apical stem. So the correct option is D, all of these. In dicot stem, the secondary growth is because of the activity of lateral meristem. Because the secondary growth always occur in lateral meristem in the dicot plant. Atactostyle type of stele is found in monocots. It is the monocots which have atactostyle. So here what happens is the vascular bundle is arranged in more than one ring and they are usually found at the center of the stem. So here the vascular bundles are arranged in more than one ring and usually are found at center of stem. Next question. The number of vasa efferentia that arises from the testes in male reproductive system is, there are 10 to 12 testes which are arising. The number of vasa efferentia that arises from the testes in male frog reproductive system is 10 to 12. So the number of vasa efferentia arising is 10 to 12. Next, the excretory system of frog consists of a pair of kidney, ureter, urinary bladder as well as cloaca. So the correct option here is A. In DNA of certain organism, guanine constitutes 20% of the bases. Which percent of the bases would be adenine? So here the correct option is 30%. Now how do we get 30% is? Adenine concentration is same as thymine and guanine concentration is same as cytosine. So if guanine is 20%, then cytosine also would be 20%. Now 20 and 20 together makes it 40. So A plus T should be 60%. So 30% should be adenine and 30% should be thymine. So the correct option is D, 30%. The wall of the eukaryotic cell is made up of a polymer. It is made up of beta-1,4-acetyl glucosamine. Next option, fluidity of biomembranes can be shown by fluorescence microscopy. So here what is done is the object is stained with fluorescent substance, and when the cell parts are observed through the ordinary microscope, the UV light appears as luminous object. So the option is fluorescence microscopy. Next, catabolic and anabolic pathways are often coupled in the cell. Why? It is because the free energy released from the pathways is used to drive the other. So catabolic and metabolic pathways are coupled together because the free energy which is released is used to drive the other. Next, during cell cycle, the RNA and the non-histone proteins are synthesized in the G phase. So the correct option here is C. Next, in which of the following stage of the cell cycle the attachment of spindle fibers to the kinetochores of the chromosomes occur? So here the correct option is metaphase. It is during the metaphase, which is called as the plane of alignment of chromosomes. So what happens is, it is also known as the plane of alignment of chromosomes. So the correct option here is B, metaphase. Choose the correct option to label A to C in the given diagram of stomatal apparatus. Now here, A that we see here is the stomatal aperture. B are the two guard cells. And C are the cellulosic microfibrils. Cellulosic microfibrils. These longitudinal lines that we see are cellulosic microfibrils. So the correct option is D. Which of the following theories for ascent of sap was proposed by an eminent Indian scientist, J.C. Bose? Now J.C. Bose had proposed the pulsation theory. So the correct option is A. Imbibition is always accompanied by swelling or increase in the volume of imbibitant. However, the increase in the volume of the imbibitant is the volume of the imbibitant. Now here, because there is closely packing of water in the interspaces, the increase in the volume of the imbibitant is less than the volume of water imbibed. So the correct option is C. Next, what is the correct order of nitrogen assimilation? So first nitrogen fixation in the atmosphere is done by nitrates, which is finally converted into ammonia. So the final conversion is ammonia. So nitrogen is fixed into nitric oxide, then nitric oxide, nitrogen oxide, then NH2OH, and then finally ammonia. So the correct option here is B. Khaira disease of rice is because of Zn deficiency. This results in several leaf malformations, intervenal chlorosis, etc. So the correct option here is Zn deficiency. Next, C4 plant minimizes photorespiration because C4 plants use PEP to initiate carbon dioxide fixation. Now this is true. So what happens is, they have very little photorespiration because initial carbon fixation is done by PEP carboxylase and not by rubisco. So besides these, they generate their own CO2 by decarboxylation of C4 acids in bundle sheet. So the correct option is A. Main biosynthetic pathway for carbon dioxide fixation in C4 plants is the C3 pathway. The C3 pathway is also called as the Kelvin cycle. It is the main biosynthetic pathway. So this is also called as Kelvin cycle, which is the main biosynthetic pathway. The reaction of pentose phosphate pathway takes place in pentose phosphate pathway, or the Warburg-Lipman-Dickin cycle. It is an alternative method of aerobic respiration and it occurs in the cytoplasm of mature cells. So the correct option is B. It occurs in the cytoplasm of mature cells. Instantaneous source of energy is glucose. Which plant hormone is found in the gaseous form? It is ethylene, which is a simple gas, and it is found in the gaseous form, and what it does is it is synthesized in large amount by tissues undergoing senescence and ripening fruits. Next question. In the given figure, find out the absolute and relative growth rate and choose the correct option. Now here, the absolute growth rate is the comparison of total to growth rate per unit time. So initially the initial surface area is about 5 centimeter square. And later the final surface area is given as 10 centimeter square. So the absolute growth rate or the AGR is the final surface area minus the initial surface area. So the answer is 5. And the relative growth rate is given by final surface area minus initial surface area upon initial surface area. So this is 5 upon 5, which means it into 100. So the answer is 100. So the correct option is C, 5 centimeter square and 100. Next question. Identify A, B, C, D from the given figure and choose the correct option. So A that we see here is the hypocotyle. B are cotyledons. C are seed coat. And D is epicotyle hook. So the correct option here is A. Next question. Which of the following are required in minimum amount by humans? Iron, iodine, manganese, copper, zinc and fluorine. All these are required in minimum quantities. So correct option is B. Next question. Secretion of gastric juice is controlled by. The secretion of the gastric juice is controlled by gastrin. Now gastrin is secreted in matured mammal. Okay, and this hormone stimulates the gastric cells to secrete large amount of gastric juices. Next, arrange the given steps by which the pulmonary volume increases in sequence of events. So first what happens is there is contraction of the intercostal muscles. Causing an increase in the volume of the thoracic chamber in the dorsoventral axis. Now then there is lifting of ribs. And then therefore there is an increase in the volume of the thoracic chamber in the dorsoventral axis, and then it is contraction of the diaphragm which increases the volume of the thoracic chamber in the posterior way. So first is first step, next is second, next is third and next is fourth. So it is actually arranged in proper sequence. So the correct option is A. Next question. Partial pressure of the gas is the pressure contributed by individual gas in the mixture. Platelets are also called as, now platelets are actually called as thrombocytes. They are cell fragments and they are produced from megakaryocytes. So the correct option is D, all of these. In ventricular diastole, the dash valve closes. So the semilunar valve closes. This causes the second heart sound, which is dup. So the correct option is A. Next, the bicuspid and the tricuspid valve ka closing will make the lup sound. The dup sound is associated with the semilunar valve. The process of releasing of urine is called as micturition. All Bowman's capsules of the kidney are found in the, so the Bowman capsules are found in the cortex. So cortex region of the kidney is the outer region. So the proximal part of each nephron forms a blind or closed part, and it is in the double-walled cup. Okay, so the correct option is cortex. The principal nitrogenous excretory compound found in human body is in liver, but it is eliminated by the liver through and also through kidneys. So the principal nitrogenous excretory compound which is formed is urea, and it is synthesized in the urine by ornithine cycle, and this is mostly eliminated by kidney. So the kidney eliminates this as an excretory product. Next question. Myofilaments or myofibrils are parallelly arranged filaments of muscle fiber. So the correct option is B. Zygomatic arc of rabbit is formed of the maxilla, the squamosal and the jugal. So jugal is the narrow wavy bone. What is jugal? It is the narrow wavy bone. And it connects the zygomatic process of squamous and maxilla, forming the zygomatic arc. So the correct option is C. Ciliary movement occurs in most of our internal tubular organs which are lined by dash epithelium. So it should be ciliated epithelium. The coordinated movement of cilia in the trachea helps us moving the dust particles, and the passage of ova through the female reproductive duct is facilitated by the amoeboid movement. So the correct option here is C. Which part of the brain is associated with strong emotions? It is the limbic system. So the inner parts of the cerebral hemispheres and a group of associated deep structures like amygdala and hippocampus forms the limbic system along with the hypothalamus, and it is involved in the regulation of sexual behavior, emotional reactions as well as motivation. So three types of behavior: sexual behavior, emotional behavior and motivation. They all are concerned with limbic area. Next, our paired eyes are located in the socket which are called as orbits. So the correct option here is A. Insulin and glucagon are transported to the target organ by cystic duct. So cystic duct transport insulin and glucagon to the target organ. Significance role of calcium balance in the body is maintained by PTH, parathyroid hormone, and TCT. So parathyroid hormone acts on bones and stimulates the process of bone resorption. It also stimulates the resorption of calcium by renal tubule and increases calcium absorption from digested food. So PCT and TCT plays a significant role for calcium balance in the body. Next question. Identify the following diagram. Now the first diagram that we see, so this is conidia and this is conidia which is found in penicillium. This is budding. and buds are formed in sponge. So what we have to do here is we have to identify the following diagram. So B is the conidia of penicillin. These are buds in hydra. These are gemmules in sponge, and this is zoospore in chlamydomonas. Alright, next, non-endospermic seeds are found in which of the following? So non-endospermic seeds in fact are found in all of the three options. The polar nuclei are located in the embryo sac. Chalazal pole is present at which part? The chalazal pole is actually present opposite to the micropylar end. Okay. Fluid filled cavity, which is called as dash, is present. So fluid filled cavity, which is called as antrum, is present in the secondary follicle called as the tertiary follicle. So the correct option is D. Next, skin epidermis, tooth, enamel, lens, corner of the outer ear, brain, spinal cord, skeletal muscles of human head, they all are derived from ectoderm. Select the correct statements. Cleavage follows gastrulation. Yolk content in the egg has no role in the cleavage. Cleavage is repeated mitotic division of the zygote. So the most apt one is it is a repeated mitotic division of the zygote. Aging is retarded by CKN. CKN means cytokinin. A woman who substitutes or takes the place of real mother to nurse the embryo is called as surrogate mother. Detection technique for AIDS is ELISA. ELISA is the diagnostic test for AIDS. Genotype and the phenotype ratios remain the same in intermediate inheritance. In intermediate inheritance, which is also called as incomplete dominance, the phenotype and the genotypic ratios are the same. For example, if we do a cross between pink and white plant, the phenotype as well as the genotype will be same, like RR, RR, or small r, small r, small r, small r. So it is intermediate inheritance. The alternate forms of gene is called as, the alternate forms of genes are called as alleles. They are slightly different forms of the same genes, slightly different form of the same genes. The inheritance of the skin color in humans is an example of, it is example of polygenic inheritance. So these genes which have individually a small effect but collectively produced a significant phenotypic expressions are called as polygenes. The inheritance of these genes is called as polygenic inheritance. For example, skin color in human. In how many types of nucleic acids are found in living system? So there are about 2 types of nucleic acid, DNA and RNA. The studies in humans are useful because they allow more refined estimates of the chromosomes locations to be made. Development of different functional structures from a common ancestral form is called as adaptive radiation. Theory of continuity of germplasm was given by August Weismann, and he had given this in the year 1834 to 1914. Which of the following is correct for immunomodulators? So immunomodulators are basically those substances which have an effect on the immune system. Now these are of two types. So there can be those which stimulate, so these are called as immunostimulant. And there are others which suppress the activity of the immune system, and hence they are called as immunosuppressant. So the correct option is D. Specific immunomodulators stimulate the immune system, whereas the rest depress it. Which of the following disease is caused due to helminth infection? Ascariasis and Wucheria, they both are caused by helminth infection. So ascariasis is caused by a roundworm, and Wucheriasis is also a worm infection. So Wucheria bancrofti, Wucheria, different species are Wucheria. Regarding common cold, consider the following statements and we have to find which of them are true. Rhinovirus is responsible for common cold which infects the nasal epithelium and respiratory passage but not lungs. This statement is true. The symptoms of cold include nasal congestion, discharge, sore throat, gruffiness, tiredness, headaches, etc. So the correct option is C. Both A and B. Both statements are correct. Next question. Now we are given a diagram referring to protoplasm fusion. So if you see here, this is pront X. Now this is the protoplast derived from X, this is from parent Y. Now these both protoplasts are supposed to be fused together and we are supposed to identify what are A, B, C. So A is the cellulase and pectinase. B is polyethylene glycol. It is polyethylene glycol which is responsible for the fusion of the protoplasm. C is the somatic hybrid cell, what we have obtained as a final product, which is somatic hybrid cell. So the correct option here is A. Breeding of animal. Now from the given statements we have to identify which is true and which is false. Breeding of animal is very important for animal husbandry is true. Both male and female animals selected for the breeding should be of superior quality is also true. The word husbandry means the arrangement of the domestic affair is also true. Cows and buffaloes generally give more milk. In our country, the poultry mainly means chickens domesticated for eggs. This is false. In our country, poultry means chickens for eggs and meat cow milk. Slightly yellow in color is because of the presence of the carotene. So here next statement is fifth statement. Cows and buffaloes generally give more milk than goat and sheep. So this statement is true. The yellow color of the buffalo milk is due to carotene. Now this statement is false. The yellow color is slightly yellow color because of the presence of carotene, which is a precursor of vitamin A. It is not the buffalo milk, it is the cow milk. So that is why that statement is false. So the correct option is C. Which of the following is correct? Now, wine and beer are produced without the distillation of fermented broth. This is true. Whiskey, brand and rum are produced by distillation of the fermented broth. This statement is also true. So both 1 and 2 are true. Wine and beer are produced by distillation of fermented broth is false. The next two statements are false. Because whiskey, brandy and rum, they are produced with distillation, not without distillation. Okay, and wine and beers are produced without distillation of fermented broth. That is why these two statements are wrong. Dash is released by LAB, which is lactic acid bacteria. So what it releases is acids. So acids are released by lactic acid bacteria during growth, coagulate and partially digest the milk protein. So A is acid and B is milk protein. Next question. Which one is a true statement regarding DNA polymerase in polymerase chain reaction? So DNA polymerase is responsible for DNA synthesis. So the first statement itself is correct. The first restriction endonuclease type 2 was isolated by Smith, Wilcox and Kelly from Haemophilus influenza bacterium, and it was formed to cut the DNA molecule at a particular point, which is known as the recognition sequences. So the correct option here the first one was isolated from Haemophilus influenza and known as the recognition sequences. So the correct option is C. In the two, Haemophilus influenza and recognition sequences. In which of the following methods a probe is allowed to hybridize to its complementary DNA in clone of the cell? Now here it is in recombinant DNA technology that a probe is allowed to hybridize to its complementary DNA in the clone of the cell. Alright. Golden rice. Now we have to see which of these are true related to the golden rice. It is a transgenic variety of rice, is true. It contains very good quantity of beta carotene, which is vitamin A. Beta carotene is a principal source of vitamin A, is also true. The grains of the rice are yellow in color because of beta carotene, and therefore this rice is called as golden rice. So all statements given here in this question are true. Which of the following technique is based on the principle of antigen-antibody reaction? So it is ELISA, which is based on the antigen-antibody reaction. It can detect even very small quantity of the antigen which is present. Next question. Which of the following expression is associated with the mangrove plant? Capable of absorbing minimum water and facilitating aeration to the underground parts. This statement is true for the mangrove water. The science dealing with soil is called as edaphology, pedology or pedology. In fact, all of these, they all means the same. Which of the following organism form the decomposers? Now here, even bacteria can be saprophytic as well as fungi. So the correct option is D, both B and C. Pyramids of biomass in pond ecosystem is inverted, upright, linear or irregular? So here the correct option is A, inverted. Which are the correct explanation about the higher diversity in tropical areas as compared to the temperate areas? So in this region, what is true is the rate of extinction is low because there is favorable environment. So favorable environment presence is there. So the first statement, there are no favorable seasons, this is false. Okay, so first is definitely not true. Less solar energy is available in tropics and there is higher availability of resources in the tropical areas. So the correct option is A. First, third and fourth are correct statements. What is sustainable use of energy? The ability to use natural resources in a way that helps people to protect the ecosystem is sustainable source of energy. Which of the following is non-biodegradable? Now it is the livestock waste, which is biodegradable. Then even sewage is biodegradable, as well as market garbage is also biodegradable. So what is not biodegradable is DDT. It is a pesticide used in plants. It does not degrade. It only gets it gets degraded very slowly. Okay, so therefore it is known as non-biodegradable pollutant. Which of the following statements are correctly matched? So arsenic poisoning, it leads to Blackfoot disease, is true. Secondary effluent treatment is a biological process, is also true. Then tubifex is a water pollution indicator, is also true. Biomagnification is the passing of non-degradable pollutants like DDT into the food chain. Non-biodegradable. That increases the amount of unit weight per time. So biomagnification is basically because of the accumulation of the non-biodegradable pollutant. And hydrolysis and solid soil waste disposal, this is not true. So the correct option is first, second, fourth and fifth. So the correct option is D.